Quick history, equipping you with knowledge of the past. Racial inequality within the British Empire. This theme is one of the most importantly delicate and controversial topics within history, as the acquaintance of prior experiences is crucial to comprehend the present and expand the potential for the future. This video will outline racial inequality within the British Empire, concentrating centrally upon colonies in Africa and India, notably nations that the empire cherished to a prominent extent. Let's first detail upon Africa, the continent where many European countries aspired to establish trade for valuable resources regarding gold, ivory, rubber and salt, to name a select few. Around 1870, the British colonized several countries within Africa. Here's a breakdown of the inequalities that were often inflicted upon the natives. From the 17th to the 19th century, Britain was involved in the slave trade that was also done by its allies, the USA, echoing a sense of superiority that some Britishers in distinguished professions operated. Intolerable in today's world, whereby every individual has the liberty to be treated justly. Since slavery was completely abolished in Britain by 1843, it's vital to understand and reflect upon the unacceptable errors and deter them from befalling again. In further addition, complaints concerning brutality, such as torture, were raised by the indigenous people against soldiers and other British who arrived in African colonies. However, little to no action was implemented to stop this from the British authorities, signifying once again a discernment of hierarchy and inequality based upon race. To imply this view upon the British population, documents were printed back in England by historians such as David Hume, suggesting that Africans and people of colour were barbarous and savages, which likely caused the view on these people to be ruthless and not meriting basic human rights. Views which were much unsupported when contemplating Africa's rich culture and similarities in levels of civilization with Britain itself. For example, Africa had many significant, complex kingdoms with flourishing trade and commerce, from Mali to Benin to the Egyptians. Let's now take a look at India's colonization and the racially unequal policies that were administered upon the colonized nation. While there were plenty of positives that benefit the population till today, check out our detailed video upon the positives, link in the description. There were also racist implications to how the British treated them. Conceivably, the biggest problem in terms of Britain's colonization of India was job allocation. Only 1 out of 10 positions were given to people of colour, the rest presented to the British. This revealed disregard to the Indian people's well-being, as they now had a more inferior chance of being employed, an opinion never acted upon to a large extent. Disregard to the major religions in India was also prevalent. For example, an idea that led to many sepoys, Indian soldiers, rebelling, was the suspected inclusion of beef and pork grease to coat the gun cartridges in January of 1857, which needed to be bitten to access the internal components. Since many sepoys were Hindus and Muslims, this part consumption of beef and pork respectively was most disagreeable and offensive. Notwithstanding towards the speculation, the British didn't cater to the sepoys' religious concerns, thus disregarding their beliefs. In conclusion, racial inequality within the British Empire was undoubtedly extensive, though when reviewing the past, it's significant not to leave out some of the critical elements. The British Empire will always be a debatable topic, due to the many determinants impacting its legacy. Nonetheless, our responsibility is to learn from any blunders that were made in history, and make it certain that they are not replicated. Hopefully, this video has acquainted you to the history of racial discrimination, informing you to create a better future. Subscribe, sound the notification bell, share, and give this video a thumbs up. Quick history.